Hey, what's up, fellas? A quick video about this 2015 Chrysler Town and Country. I'll show you today how to replace this engine housing oil filter. And as you see in the video, there's a lot of oil leaking. Customer came with the issue saying that he had to add everyday oil into the engine, otherwise he would run out of it. So for the first thing to do is obviously you have to check it out where the oil comes out, and in my case I saw the oil comes under the engine manifold. So I went ahead and start removing the intake air box, all the hoses and air tunnels, and it took me about 20-30 minutes to get to the engine air intake, the manifold. And because on the way there's a lot of hoses and wires to be removed, but it's nothing really complicated. It's just about 20 minutes of work. So once you have all those things removed, that's where the fun starts. So let me make it faster for you so you can see what I've done. Here in the back, quick, I will explain. There's a bracket with two on the top, two 10 millimeter nuts, you can see in the video, and then at the bottom you have a 13 millimeter bolt with an extension. You have to remove that because otherwise you'll not be able to remove the intake. So you also have two 10 millimeter nuts in the front of the engine, which also has to be removed, but not the brackets. Remove the bracket only in the back. This way I'll make sure that the intake manifold comes out. As you see in the video, there's a coolant hose right there. You don't have to remove that. You just have to kind of move it on the side so you have access to those two nuts in the front. I used a small wrench with a 10 millimeter short. That was plenty actually space. As you see right there in the video, you can see how I apply it. Make sure you hold the wrench with the left hand. It's gonna put some support of it, and it's not really hard at all. Now it's time for the main screws. Pretty sure there are screws and bolts for the intake manifold. It takes 8 millimeters. I suggest you use a wrench. Don't use a gun because the intake manifold is made out of plastic, so that will might damage. Even unscrewing, it will damage the plastic basically. So yeah, I'll suggest you use a wrench. It's not really tight at all, so that way you're safe. Once we remove the intake manifold, it's time to remove the wire harness. First of all, there is a six connectors for the coils. These are being removed very easy. Next, you'll have six connectors for the intake. There is six individual connectors for the intake. Um, they're pretty kind of like, you know, dusty, so, and it's really hard to remove the clips, is the safety clips, so make sure you don't crack them because that's, you know, safety. Injector is very important. Don't pull too much because you might damage the injector also. You got some wire harness holders and plastic clips. Those are easy. Make sure you remove everything gentle and don't damage the injector line. You always have to use gloves for working on engines, especially for this job, because once you remove this line, the gasoline will leak. So you want to make sure you have some gloves. Press the safety green clip and make sure you are pressing on both sides at the same time. This way, you'll take the tension and remove the fuel line. This way, it's pretty easy if you know what you're doing. If not, then just take your time. Don't rush. Don't pull too much. This is also very, very, very gentle plastic line and clip. So take your time right there. Now it's time to remove the rest of the intake manifold. This is uh, right there for the fuel line. Make sure you don't remove the Torx screws that's in the center. You can see them in the video. Those are holding the injector, the fuel line. Remove the same screws that's on top of the intake manifold. It's also 8 millimeters, and they're, I believe, 6 too. Use as well a wrench. Don't use gun because this is also made out of plastic. Here we go. We got a whole picture of the rest of the intake manifold. That's the last piece. Put it on the side, and here we can see the engine filter housing. It looks like this is the original because the original comes with a plastic body, and it has a intercooler, a cooling box for the coolant and oil, which is made out of aluminum. And of course, there's also the temperature sensor and the coolant or oil sensor. Yeah, there's a coolant and oil sensor in there. I believe mine comes with my new part comes with also the new sensor, so I don't have to remove them. But I do have to remove the two connectors, which is pretty easy. Um, and then there's also a coolant hose that goes into the housing. Um, but before removing the hose, you'll need a E8. This is a special tool. I'm pretty sure you all have this. It's just a small, pretty small size. I use the small wrench as well. Why I'm removing the whole housing before removing the hose is because I can't put any pliers in there to, you know, or remove the hose. So it's much easier to remove the whole thing, and then when you lift it up, you remove the hose as well. So take your time, and pretty much the whole job is done by a small wrench. So this is really really cool. You just gotta always um, replace the sockets. We got it, guys. I can also show you quick what it would be the reason that would cause this oil and coolant leak. This is a very serious problem. So right there, as you see, guys, in the video, those O-rings they get very very old, and they lose the ability of sealing the housing, the engine oil filter housing, and basically the oil and coolant is leaking while you're driving. And this is the C in the middle of the engine, the bay, the V6 in the middle of it. It's full of a mixture of oil and coolant. And now it's time to use a paper towel and vacuum to clean that. Now is the right time to install our new part. And the new one comes with new O-rings, and it's made out of aluminum. It has aluminum body. As you see in the video, it has all the sensors and O-rings. I definitely cleaned everything and wiped and washed everything. Plus, I checked the knuckle sensors, and I put some WD-40 in it. And as you see in the video, everything fits perfect. It got in pretty easy. I thought, since it's kind of aftermarket, it will be a little bit more complicated to place it back into the right place, but it's actually pretty easy. And now, guys, what we're gonna do is we will reverse the whole process. So we'll start with the last thing what we removed. It will be the coolant hose. Then we can tie it up, back everything together. Put the two connectors. Don't forget about that. Otherwise, you'll have to remove everything back together and to just put the connectors. So Make sure you tie it up, not too tight and not too loose, just like gentle, easy, just enough. Since we removed everything, especially the whole intake manifold assembly, we have the chance to replace all the gaskets for a better um, air, right? So we have no air leak. And since all this is made out of plastic, it's kind of like, odd, but that's what it is. And um, this is the right perfect time to replace them. As you see in the video, they're in a terrible, terrible shape. They have the same scenario problem with the O-rings from the housing. So I definitely gonna use this chance to replace them all. Once you're done with the lower side, it's time for the top, and the job is done. There's one more thing, guys. Some parts comes with the brand new oil filter. Some not, so you wanna definitely unscrew the top and check it out. Because you don't wanna start pour the oil without filter.